A Hat in Time! I am a big platforming game fan. It's my favorite genre. It's so good, jumping around, doing cool stuff, collecting little bits and stuff. It's the best. And Mario is the king of platforming games. There's no one who could even touch his level of video game, right? Nah, you know what video this is. It's A Hat in Time! I'm gonna keep the Mario comparisons at a minimum. The controls in A Hat in Time are so easy to pick up and make it really fun to move around as Hat Kid. There's a lot of options when it comes to stuff you can do because of the hat mechanic in the game. Each hat lets you do something different. You can sprint, use a grapple hook, phase through ghost objects. Hat Kid can just turn into a block of really heavy ice and propel herself through the sky. You can jump on a Roomba. This isn't a hat or anything, I just thought it was funny. The developers, Gears for Breakfast, understand how to make a platforming game and what makes these games fun, but also frustrating. So they focus their design on the fun aspects. What makes a game in this genre enjoyable to play through? The movement, the collectibles, the worlds, the quirky fun characters. But what's the most important part of a platforming collectathon game? The levels. The worlds in this game are places on planets that you fly to in your ship, and that leads me to the story of A Hat in Time. Shit is wild. You wake up on your spaceship one morning, decide you want some coffee before setting course to another planet. Suddenly, a man knocks on your spaceship window. He's the mafia. You gotta pay space tax. But no one wants to pay space tax, so he punches your window, causing instabilities in your spaceship, releasing all of your timepieces, which fuel your spaceship. So now, you gotta find where all of them landed on the planet. The levels are what make this game. They're the best achievement in it. Each level has its own storyline, not just little characters with simple plots that exist only to justify the level. It has fully fledged stories with interesting and funny characters, independent of the level design. I'm gonna show this off using my favorite world in the game, Battle of the Birds. It's set in a movie studio with two famous bird directors, the Conductor and DJ Grooves. They're competing for the yearly Bird Movie Awards. The Conductor, he makes the same Western murder mystery on a train over and over again, while DJ Grooves, he just makes musical movies. The movie directors find and start using your timepieces as movie props. So the first level is a sneak mission, meaning you have to break into the studio, and getting caught or doing funny things adds more to your bill, meaning you'll be in debt by the end of the level. When you collect the first timepiece, DJ Grooves catches you stealing it and notices that you would be the perfect actress for his new movie, so you promise to help him in exchange for the timepiece. Right after he leaves, the Conductor does the same. So now, you gotta help two birds make their movies. Fuck. Let the movie race begin! Half of the levels in the world are for each bird, and how well you do in them gives them more points, and by the end, whichever bird has more points wins the award. My favorite of the two movies is the Conductor's movie. It's a spoof of Murder on the Orient Express, but with birds, which makes it even better.
Murder on my Owl Express?
So a bird gets murdered and you need to collect clues and interrogate different birds on the train. Half of the birds are scientists.
What the fuck did you just say about me, you little bitch?
Hey, who are you? Who invited you to my little review here? What the hell? Get out of here, man. Get out, get out, get out. What the hell was that? Who was that guy? I don't even know. All right, let's get back to the video. So what was I talking about? The two types of birds. You got the scientists, while the other half are like detective birds, but they're really suspicious. Everyone is actually, because anyone could have killed the Birdman. The level ends on such a high note. I'm just gonna let my man Matthew Hardy from the comment section here explain it. This is the craziest level I have ever known. A paranoid owl is hell-bent that he's not gonna be slapped by this little girl, even going to the extent of detonating the train full of scientists. The train then starts destroying itself in a variety of extravagant ways, starting with collapsing floors and sirens, then somehow freaking lava bubbles up from the floor, and finally some ridiculously big saws start slicing up the train. And with this music, why the hell wouldn't you like that? Brilliant. I can't talk about this game and not mention the Subcon Forest that has one of my favorite characters in the game, the Snatcher. He's this demon godlike being that rules over the forest. When you encounter him for the first time, he makes a deal with you. You help him with some grunt work he needs done, in exchange, he'll give you a timepiece. Except he takes your soul as hostage until you finish the work. Uh-oh. But it's okay, because the jobs are usually fun, and he actually does give you your soul back when you finish. But then he gives you more work. But it's fun. You have to play the game to fully understand the madness. All of this so far has been about the general idea of the gameplay, but what is it that I actually do in the game? let's get into the gameplay of A Hat in Time. The spaceship is your hub world and it contains all the levels which are locked behind a specific timepiece amount. The levels are accessed by a telescope which, I don't know, somehow takes you to the level. The spaceship is also packed full of cool interactable stuff and a cosmetic slot machine, all sorts of fun to be had in there. When you land in a level, usually your primary objective is to get the timepiece, so you run around collecting palms, which are the currency in game. You collect yarn and you knit it into different hats to use. Now that's where stuff gets wild. There's this guy, he sells you pins that you put on your hats and they alter how Hat Kit acts or how hats work in general. So you have a pin that stops you from hitting a wall if you dive into it. You have a pin that turns the sprint hat into a little bike you ride around in. It's all so cool and adds so much to the game. The levels are designed in a way where you don't get stuck on geometry often because of the handcrafted placement of objects. Hat Kit can also do a tiny wall climb to get herself out of some annoying situations. It's not just a cheap way to reverse a mistake, since the game doesn't heavily rely on precision platforming. It's just there for convenience. Looking at the recent release and disaster that is Balan Wonderworld, you start to appreciate A Hat in Time for not only getting it right, but doing it perfectly. There's a total of 40 timepieces in the main game, all of which are unique and interesting to collect. The developers focused on the quality of each timepiece rather than having hundreds of lower quality. If you get the DLC, it bumps up the total to 56, and the extra timepieces have the same quality as the base game. Speaking of the additional content, A Hat in Time has 2 paid DLCs, Seal the Deal and then Yakuza Metro. The first add-on brings in a whole new world and the Death Wish difficulty, so if you're looking for an insane challenge, that's the one for you. Then Yakuza Metro adds in this incredibly atmospheric underground world of cats. Everything is a cat. The Roombas, the trains are being pulled by giant cats. The Yakuza is here in the form of the Yakuza Cat Mafia. It's also the most maze-like world in the game, so to make it a bit more coherent to explore, it's divided into different sections, each requiring the correct color of train pass to access. There's an optional map you can buy, but I recommend going in blind for the best exploration experience. While roaming the metro, you can spy on cats talking while waiting for the bus. Some cats can be seen writing angry Yelp reviews for certain fast food places, and then you can go and see for yourself if the review is justified. The Yakuza Metro is just a cherry on top of this incredible game. It shows off the best it has to offer. I am ready for whatever game Gears for Breakfast choose to make next, because A Hat in Time is an unforgettable experience and such a well-crafted game. Exploring, platforming, collecting, it approaches every part of a platforming game with such passion and creativity, and it will stand the test of time just like the other big titans in its genre, like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. A Hat in Time is that incredible.